If you know it, join.
Is that the warm-up before we begin?
That's like the warm-up. That's the welcome. You told me when I asked you, Rabbi Schneider, I said, hey, what sounds like Shabbat to you? And you said that one that we do, yeah, nine, nine, nine. And I said, okay, great. So we put it in.
That's it.
That was
the
it.
Lai. Good night. That's all I needed. I just needed that was Shabbat for me. Good evening, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shematzah.
Shalom.
It's Shabbat Shematzah tonight. Tonight we're going to be celebrating our third Seder. See, I could keep going. It's fine.
I do feel like if you show up to shul the night after the first 2 nights of Pesach, like, you guys win. Like, we
You win, totally.
You know what I mean? Like, wonderful.
You pace yourself, though. You don't want to overdo it. So, this is a colleague and friend, Rabbi Aviva. And does anyone know what Rabbi Aviva's last name is? You read it. What is it? Funky. That is it. But there's a truth to this story. I think it deserves that little context.
My husband will appreciate.
Okay.
My husband in the back, hi Yosef.
Hi, Yosef.
He's with our number 3, Leo, there. When I met him, he told me his last name was Funky, and so of course I was like, this is cool, this could work. And come to find out, it's German last name, as he's German, and it's really Funke. And first of all, I've not been able to say it correctly, apparently, for many years. We've been together for almost 16. But he said we were funkies, so I would introduce myself. Hello, I'm Aviva Funky. Hello, I'm Aviva Funky. And we went to a fancy event once, and I introduced ourselves. And at the end of the night, it was, no, dear, at formal events, we're Funka. But everywhere else, it could be Funky. I said, sorry, I signed up for Funky. So
tonight it's going to get funky. That's right. And we have Roger and Michael here to provide some backup. And
really.
And that's funky too. Tonight, really, we're going to spend some time focusing on the welcoming of Shabbat, the Kabbalat Shabbat. And maybe it begs, as part of our greeting, for you to share a little bit. Are you going to immerse tonight some of the stories about your music? And
yeah, a little bit. That's what we're looking to do tonight. Yeah.
Then let's light our candles. We're going to invite up a friend, Susan, if you will come down and join us. I think another face that you guys all recognize.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give lights to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech Vitzivanu Lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, blessed are you, O Lord Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Susan. So we're going to turn it over to Rabbi Aviva. We're going to spend a considerable amount of our service focusing on the Kabbalat part of Shabbat, the part of the Shabbat set, the mood setting, the music, the focusing on the not just physically getting ready for Shabbat, but spiritually as well as emotionally and mentally, and all of the aspects of that. I think I'll just turn it over to you, and
Beautiful.
you tell us where we're going.
We're going to begin with Shalom Aleichem. In the evening, the music this evening will primarily be original music. Maybe some of you have already said that you clicked the button and you were able to hear it online. So our traditions teach us in the Psalms on Shabbat, Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash, sing a song to God, sing a new song. So this evening, many of these melodies will feel new, and I am so grateful to be joining you this evening and being able to share this music with you. So we're going to start with Shalom Aleichem.
Page 24.
And the invitation, as we welcome the angels, I want to invite you to take your big Shabbos breath in and call upon an angel in your life that you would like to have as the presence in you, in your heart this evening as we welcome the angels among us. Join as you begin to learn the melody together. We'll start slow and build. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Malchei Hasharet. Malchei Elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlochim hakadosh baruch hu boachem leshalom malchei hashalom Malchei Elyon mi melech malchei hamlochim hakadosh baruch hu Baruch hu ni l'shalom malchei hashalom malchei elyon mi melech malchei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu Seitchem l'shalom malchei hashalom malchei elyon mi melech malchei amlochim hakadosh baruch hu. Whew. Thank you to my husband Yosef for writing that one together with me. We're going to move to the words of Yedid Nefesh.
Page 10. In the middle.
Yedid Nefesh is this beautiful poem that begins our Shabbat prayers, which says that the infinite divine one is our soulmate and the one who takes us, Av HaRachaman, the parenting from the womb space of mercy. Meshoch Avdach El Rotzonach, and to shape us to God's desire, we ask that. So as we arrive to this Shabbat, we say, God, take us for who we are. Your beautiful creation, each of us. We invite ourselves to feel a sense of mercy and compassion where in your heart and in your life, could you use a little bit more compassion? We take a breath with this beautiful lullaby of love, with a sense of compassion for Yedid Nefesh. Relax, Shabbat is here. Join as you feel comfortable. Yedi nefesh al Rachaman. Yedi nefesh al Rachaman. Mishok, mishok avtach el retzonach. Yarutz avtach kemo ayah. Yainai, 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 yainai. Let's do that again, the Yedig Nefesh. Join me. Yedig Nefesh av Rachaman. Yedig Nefesh av Rachaman. Mishok, mishok avtach el retzonach. Yarutz avtach kemo ayah.
If there was such a thing as a silver lining during COVID, that's a bit of a stretch, but it did give us time as a congregation when we pivoted and explored ways to continue to celebrate Shabbat together. Through technology, I began a journey of taking what was our traditional service and the prayers that we would do week after week, and whether it was with Emily or with Susan, we would do deep dives into Shabbat through the videos and bringing you music from different places, and that led to why Joe Buchanan came and ended up joining us in person. I was just having this vision, this memory of this, and hearing the beautiful voice of Rabbi Viva, and someone who also has put her stamp of music on the tradition. These are the same prayers that we've been singing for well beyond our life, for many, 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 many lifetimes. And you get to hear new and refreshed versions of the same music. It's truly remarkable and gorgeous and beautiful. And I just wanted to, it feels like we're continuing that tradition, but now we get to do it in person. Now this is yet a second opportunity to have someone go down that way, but do it in person. So just telling you where my head was at while you were doing
love
that.
that.
It's exciting.
Right, it's so, and we're gonna get into this a little bit later about how do we see things new, because so much of our life can really feel a little bit same old, and yet we have an opportunity and to really think about how every single day is such a gift from God. Am I right? It's such a gift to be alive. And in fact, this next psalm that we're going to sing, the words of L'chu Niranana, It says, let's go. Let's leave our busy mind, our stress. Let's leave all the things that are undone. And let's go and greet Shabbat. Let's go together and be in a place of what would Shabbat feel like in you this Shabbat? What do you need? And then it says, Nekadma fanav b'todah, to be stood in the face of God with todah. What's todah? When we say todah, we're saying, thank you. To be stood b'panav, in the face of God with thanks. I want to invite you, as we move to the Chunaranana on
Page 12.
Page 12. What got you through this week? What got you through the preparation and the busyness to get to Pesach and now on the Shabbat? I want you to take that big breath and imagine the space of the divine, the universe, however you see the totality of creation. It's just there waiting to hear what you are grateful for. This is that opportunity. I hope you enjoy this and sing along when it feels right. Nine 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 whoa. Nine 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 whoa. Nine nine nine. Yana nine 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 whoa. Yana nine nine. Yana nine 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 whoa. L'chuniranina l'adonai naria letzur yishenu. L'chuniranina l'adonai naria letzur yishenu. Nekadma fanav b'todah b'zmiro naria lo. Nekadma fanav b'todah b'zmiro naria lo. Yanai nai nai nai, yanai nai 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 whoa. Yanai nai nai nai, yanai nai 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 whoa. Yana nai nai, yana nai 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 whoa. Yana nai nai, yana nai 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 whoa. L'chuniranina l'adonai naria letzur yishenu. L'chuniranina l'adonai naria letzur yishenu. Nekadma fanav b'todah b'zmiro naria lo. Nekadma fanav b'todah b'zmiro naria lo. Yanai nai nai nai, yanai nai 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 whoa. Yanai nai nai nai, yanai nai 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 whoa.
The Kabbalat Shabbat section, which we are in, is, if you look at the notes on page 12 at the bottom, it says the Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming Shabbat, is one of the innovations of the Kabbalistic tradition, the Jewish mystical tradition that gathered around Rabbi Isaac Luria in the 16th century in the north of Israel, in Safed. And these psalms that we're bringing today that we don't normally do, which is awesome, so we're trying something out or we're doing something a little different. But I love the idea that these 6 psalms representing the 6 days of creation enjoins that all creation to sing out in the praise of God, and really gets us thinking outside of ourselves that all of creation, all of life is connected, and that our next one of our Our next psalm, Yismechu, on page 13, which in the Hebrew is the last paragraph on the page, talks about how the heavens rejoice and the earth exalts and the sea and the thunder and the fields and the trees all imbue exaltation, the joy of the wonder and the awe, where the idea of awesomeness of God's oneness and the miracle of creation that we observe and we thank God for. And as the 6 days of work, find ourselves at Shabbat, the chance to take a step back and appreciate it and breathe it in and feel it and think about it and be in the moment together. So Yismechu.
Beautiful. So when I was writing a lot of this music, I was leading a prayer community in Venice Beach, California. I'm from here, but I got to go to rabbinical school out in Los Angeles, and over time came to realize that prayer was different than what I grew up with, and that for prayer to work for me, I had to find my way through it. And finding my way through it meant I got to write my own music and find my voice through this, to bring it to our community in a new way, and yet in an old way, because this is what we do as Jews. We sing. This one is a very reflective sense of tribal community, because we are of the earth, our people of the earth. So this one will feel a little bit different, but I ask you to ride along with Yismechu as we try this new form of music here in your community. I'm playing an Eastern instrument similar to a harmonium, an accordion. This is called a shruti. It gives a tone for chanting. So we'll try a little something different. Let's try that. You got that one. Shamayim v'tagel haaretz, Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz, Yiram hayam umlo'o, Yiram hayam umlo'o. Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz, Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz, Hiram hayam umlo'o. Hayam Umlo Yismechu Hashamayim V'tageu Haaretz Yismechu Hashamayim V'tageu Haaretz Hiram Hayam Umlo Hiram Hayam Umlo.
It would not be Kabbalat Shabbat unless we literally were to welcome Shabbat as if she were a bride on page 20, Lecha Dodi. I believe you wanted to mention some words about Lecha Dodi and maybe which paragraphs?
Absolutely. So I have this journey of Lecha Dodi because, as you may know, it is full of, it's a big, long poem. There are so many stanzas in Lecha Dodi. And when we get to it, sometimes it could just feel like so much. How do we know what's going on here? And I have adopted this custom that every Shabbat gets one verse plus Boiv Shalom. And I often try to find either the parasha, the holiday, the connection to each week so that as a community, we begin to really learn what it means to sing this Lecha Dodi. By the way, the Dodi is connected to Yedid Nefesh. There's this connection. It brings us back because this is one of our last things that we sing in this Kabbalat Shabbat time of our service before the evening prayers. So the Dodi and Lecha Dodi and Yedid Nefesh are both talking about the true beloved, which is Adonai, God, source. So Lecha Dodi really means, come on, God. Come on, divine spark. Be with us this Shabbat. So for this Shabbat, we are in Pesach. We have left the narrows, we have left the darkness, and we are ready to shine our light in our true sense of liberation and freedom. And I'm so excited because my favorite stanza, if I have to pick one, I do have one. I'm sorry, the rest of the poem is so good, but this one is what it is. Hitorari, hitorari, wake up, kiva orech kumi uri. It is time to come and shine your light. Uri, uri, shir taberi. It is time to shine. If you've been playing it small at any part of your life, this is that beautiful moment of saying it's time. It's time to get my gifts out a little bit more and let myself shine the light that the divine gave me. So I hope you enjoy a new melody for your Lecha Dodi. When we get to Boiv Shalom and we say welcome, we will stand up and turn towards the door as you do here in this community, which I am so in love with, you guys. This is such a beautiful community. Lecha Dodi, I don't know what page that stanza is on, Rabbi.
Still on page 20.
Still on page 20.
Yep.
Sorry. Lecha Dodi, likra kala, peni Shabbat, nekabela lecha Dodi, likra kala, peni Shabbat, nekabela. Hitorari, kivara, kumi uri, shir daveri, kivod Adonai, alai nida, lecha Dodi, likra kala. Shabbat nekabela lecha Dodi mikra kala peni Shabbat nekabela hitor Nikra kala pene Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi. Nikra kala pene Shabbat nekabela. We're going to rise as we welcome and turn towards the doorway to greet the Shabbat queen, the bride. Oi v'shalom, hateret balagam v'simcha, uv'tohula tochem unei am segula, boi kala, lecha dodi, likra kala, peni Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi, likra kala, peni Shabbat nekabela.
Having stood and welcomed Shabbat, we take the opportunity to someone behind us, across the aisle, in front of us, or wherever, wish each other Shabbat Shalom. Take a moment, introduce yourself, say hello to somebody you don't recognize.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. So good. How's our time?
We're at 7:30.
Perfect. Perfect. Right?
You want to talk a little here?
Yeah, I'll talk a little later.
And then you can be seated. Usually we zig, but tonight we're going to zag. Do things. We're going to continue in the theme of doing things a little differently. It's a natural break here from the Kabbalat Shabbat to the, as Rabbi Aviva mentioned, the sort of main part of the prayers of our evening. So we use this opportunity here to share a few words of Torah or a few words of introduction. You want to share a little bit about you or your story,
Yeah, sure.
Selfless plug of BJE, whatever
that's
you want to
good.
do. All the above is great.
Shabbat Shalom. What a wonderful Kehillah community. Thank you for singing and joining along the ride of the new opportunity, the new music. It means so much to be able to share this with all of you. I'll take a few minutes to share a little bit about myself and then a little bit about what's on my mind for this particular Shabbat right now that we're in. So I grew up here. I went to Chaparral. I was a proud student of Hebrew High that the BJE offers. Maybe you're familiar with the Teen Jewish Learning Program. For 50 years, they've offered education and continuing education for Jewish teens. I went to ASU, and I met my husband, Yosef, here in Scottsdale, and we were able to travel. We lived in Sedona when we were exploring our super spiritual phase, but I worked at a synagogue because it just kind of made my life easy that way. But I was always very connected to my Jewish community. I grew up at the time, Har Zion. So this was my home community. And Rabbi Micah, Zichrono Libracha, Micah Kaplan, who was the late rabbi of Or Zion, was a childhood friend of mine. I was a few years younger than him. So I got to look up to him as an older brother. His father was my chazan back in the day. And so having this spiritual home here in Scottsdale, even when we moved to southern Arizona. Anyone ever been to Patagonia, Arizona? Above Nogales? A few heads, yeah? So Yosef and I were there at a spiritual retreat center for about 3 years. And the retreat center was founded by a naturopath, raw food, juicing physician who's also an ordained rabbi, and somebody who had a very rich, involved Jewish background. It really opened my mind to what it means to use Judaism and our bodies and our music and the way that we gather as a community. And it just allowed us to take this natural turn and head over to LA, where I got to go to the Ziegler School of Rabbinic Studies, which is a conservative rabbinical school in Los Angeles. And my program, it was 6 years. And so it really gave us a long time. We had one child in the program. got to live in Israel for a year, and just really explored and pushing the boundaries of Judaism that for me has always been a part, is pushing the boundaries, but respecting the foundation. Wanting to know where this foundation comes from and looking for the pieces on the inside to find what else is there to play with. So I was able to be a day school rabbi in Los Angeles, and went on maternity leave the first week of March of 2020. It was just like we had this beautiful send-off, and then my kindergartner was like home all of a sudden. I'm like, I'm supposed to have a break while I'm waiting for number 2, and then like, but school shut down. And it was this crazy. You remember those times? So we came back to Scottsdale to quarantine 4 months. I thought we'd be here for like 2 weeks. My husband's like, we're never going back, and he was right. And luckily, we moved out of my parents' house and had another baby, as one does during a pandemic, I suppose. But when I came back, it was a wonderful opportunity to go back to some of my roots and join Myra Schindler at the Bureau of Jewish Education. I was going to be homeschooling our oldest. I had this baby, and it gave me an opportunity to work in education and work with youth, as I had been doing already, but a little bit older, to navigate some of the difficulty that they were about to face in their life. And all the while continuing to write music, and eventually got to record the album once the pandemic had ceased, because we were supposed to do that in the summer of 2020. So I was able to take this opportunity, and so now I'm the associate director of the Bureau of Jewish Education. I run Hebrew High. I work with your clergy. I love Cantor Noah. We hang out most Shabbats, actually, because our kids are the same age. And I've been so fortunate to get to know Rabbi Schneider, who has taught for one of the programs that I launched this year called Ignite. We have a few of your religious school teachers in the back who are part of our education for religious school teachers. So they've been a whole year of learning together, and I've got to learn with them and all the different clergy from the community. And it's been a wonderful, wild ride. Often you might see me at Congregation Or Zion, where I do stand in a lot for either Cantor Rubenstein or for Rabbi Green, who I went to school with under his wing. So that is just a little bit about me. I do have 3 sons, and I'm often at the JCC, so maybe you'll see me around with at least one child. I think I got the whole spiel on that one. Okay, so now I want to just transition for a moment, and I won't take too long, but I do have a pulpit and I'm a rabbi, so a few words before my words. No, I suppose. I'm thinking about what tonight is. That the Seders are behind us. How many of you were able to make it to a Seder, or were able to prepare some way? Maybe you've already just had a little bite of matzah, right? It's been on your mind, okay? It is a all-consuming holiday. And I would say yes, right? And it's not only that, the preparation and the process, it is an overwhelming one that may actually make us not want to participate because of what's being asked of us. And that is totally normal and a powerful reflection of, I think, Jewish tradition, that's asking more of us than we might be able to deliver, which is an opportunity for us to really think about what matters. So I'm thinking about the fact that we've had 2 nights already of Passover, and it seems as though we're done, but we're not. Because in fact, that Passover Seder is a portal. What are you going to do with your freedom? You prepared. Maybe you cleaned your home. Maybe you had people over. Maybe you were part of the cooking. Maybe you were the setting of the table. Maybe you had to make the arrangements. We went through the process. But now that we're free, and we don't have another Seder for a whole nother year, what are we going to do with our freedom? Because we were just slaves, and now we're free. And there's one thing that we're asked to do during this time, amidst all the other things that we do as Jewish people, and as people just in general. But there's one thing we're supposed to do. And the crazy part is, it's actually one of the easiest things we can do, but the thing that most of us just don't. And it started last night. I'm curious if anybody knows what I'm talking about. We're going to do it every day for 49 days. Do you know what I'm talking about? The counting of the Omer Steve Rabbi. Our Torah tells us, after we welcome Passover, that we are to count every day for 49 days. And it's to celebrate what? The receiving of? The Torah. We have a natural connection between Pesach and this pilgrimage from all the way to this wheat harvest. And I found out that the PV school district gets out of school on the day of Shavuot, so they're really going to count. I'm pretty sure they weren't already. They're really going to do it. So, but here's the deal. We have one ask, and the ask is to count every day for 7 weeks. Does that seem difficult? Just to count a number. Literally, today is 1, today is 2. In theory, not so difficult. Pretty easy ask. If you know how to count, can you do it? But how many of us do? This is the point. This is the moment right now. We are asked to witness the value of each and every day. Every single day counts. And what's powerful is that we're not counting down, right? Anybody counting down for anything? Wedding, a trip? I'm just curious. Do you know where in your countdown, first of all, what are you counting down for? Okay, daughter's wedding, beautiful. Mazel tov. Where's your counting right now? Like, where are you at? 99 days. 99 days ago. Okay, all right. So listen, yes, okay, the perfect example. I didn't plant it here. This is it. His daughter and he and his family are counting down to 99 days. But the Omer has us doing something different. Last night, started day 1. Tonight, in a moment, we're going to count day. What's the difference? Counting down versus what are we to do with receiving Torah? We're going up. We're not counting down. Why? Our rabbis teach us every day to elevate. Maybe you're familiar with the old story between Rabbi Shammai and Hillel, who say, do we light all candles on Hanukkah and take one every night? We don't do that. What do? One, and we add, because our lives should be added to every single day. But they also teach us something else, that if we are counting down, what do you get to? You get to 0. And what does 0 suggest? Nothing. Here we are. We made it, and now where are we? There is a fear that if we count down and we get there, that we've lost sight of the journey towards. And so I want to bless us. If you want to seize the opportunity or just explore a little bit, maybe count the weeks first this year, and then maybe next year we do more, but that we should count up so that we remind ourselves every day counts. Shabbat shalom. We're going to bring ourselves together with the Baruch Hu. Maybe a melody you know, maybe not, but an opportunity nonetheless to say thank you to the Infinite for making each day count and giving us an opportunity to do so.
Page 28, please rise.
Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Le'olam. Yananai, yananai, dai, 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 dai. We make a blessing of the sweetness of the evening. Baruch atah Adonai Hamari Baravim.
We remain standing as we continue with the Shema, which is on page 34 and 35.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Do you do the V'ahavta?
Please be seated. We'll continue with V'ahavta together on page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lachtecha b'derech u'shokbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'hisharecha man tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai Vaitem kedoshim leloechem, Ahani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeti etchem meretz Mitzrayim, lechiot lachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Ani Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 40, we continue the words that we may have come up at your seders, at least the message. The words that were sung as we crossed the Red Sea, as we left Egypt, we were in awe of the miracles, not just the splitting of the Red Sea, but the plagues, the outstretched arm. God freed us from Egypt, and each week we don't celebrate this holiday once a year. We think about it daily in our singing of the Michamocha, page 40.
Yai da 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 da, yai da 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 ya da da da, yai da 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 ya da da da, yai da 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 da, yai da 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 da. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha. Darba kodesh nor atehilot o sefele nor atehilot o sefele na 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 ya na 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 ya na 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 ya na 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 ya na 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 ya na 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 ya na 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 na. Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael.
That's yours too?
No, I think actually Phil Barron wrote it, but I think they used part of it in the Prince of Egypt.
I was going to say, it sounded marching like. It's exactly.
It was from there. So
it had
a little
it had a
Passover
very.
Prince of Egypt.
That's what it did. It did.
It's not totally the same, but it's like kind of the same. So anyway.
For the record, I would have believed you.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna be honest with you.
But I love that you're honest.
This is our chance. It's our private moment, huh?
It is. We actually, if it's okay with you, we do the first three together, and then we'll have a private moment. Are you comfortable with that?
Rabbi, you do it. Go for it. We're gonna have everyone rise.
Okay, you're gonna all help me sing this if I'm the one singing this. Yes, or maybe we'll have Susan sing real loud.
So
that
we're
we can
getting
all-
ready for our personal and private prayer. That's what we're bantering about. And this is the time where we call out in prayer. And the idea is that we have now worked ourselves up and we are ready to talk to God one-on-one. And so we ask for you to rise, and we're going to do that together at this time. What page are we beginning?
Tefillah is on page 46, and we do the first three together. And then we take a moment of silent personal prayer meditation, adding their own prayers of the evening.
And do this. This is the opportunity. So feel free to close your eyes, open your heart, use the book, don't use the book, whatever you need. We'll start with Adonai Sifatai Tiftach. Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Agitehi Latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that your mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu, V'imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaKadosh, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avo v'Imaon, U'mevi Geula Lifnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Ufokei Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol atah, Rav L'Hoshiach, Morid Hatam, Mechachel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somach Noflim V'Rofech Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Mikamocha Bal Gevurot, Umito Melach, Melach Memitz Umechaye, Umasmiach Yeshua, V'neman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Kadosh b'chol yom, yom u'suselam, Baruch atah Adonai, HaKadosh.
So we continue silently. You can use the pages, you can use the words of your hearts, and whenever you're done, please be seated.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom.
We add to our prayers a Misha Berach, a prayer for those who are maybe feeling a little broken and could use a refuah shlema, a prayer of wholeness and healing whether the brokenness is physical or mental or emotional or spiritual, whatever it is, as is our tradition. If you are in the room and wish to say a name out loud, or those at home want to say a name aloud, I invite you to do so at this time. On page 253 in the middle, we'll find the words to our Mishaberach.
Sorry. Mishaberach avoteinu kor habrecha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who has blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu makor habrecha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
I don't have a lot of Hodaot. Actually, I do. I was thinking of, as we have a quiet weekend this weekend, we'll continue with our Passover holiday and the counting. But we do have, at the end of Passover, we celebrate Yizkor and a communal prayer, a communal service that we do with Beth Israel and Temple Solel each year. And this year, Solel is hosting on Wednesday. So anyone who wishes to come, we go to Solel. The service is at 10 a.m. Wednesday morning. It'll be a regular morning service plus Yizkor. And then we'll be back for a regular routine of Shabbat. I want to thank Rabbi Viva for just an incredibly inspirational Shabbat service.
Thank you.
Really, really just amazing. Is there any other obvious things that I'm forgetting or things coming up? I mean, we've had so much happen the last week alone. It's been a week since the gala and Seders, and it's like could use a quiet weekend this weekend. Roger and Michael, again, thank you very much for adding backups, and we're going to, speaking of family and Yizkor, Passover being rated the most observed Jewish holiday on the calendar. If you think about it, it's really easy. Why? It's a home-based holiday. So it's the most easy, accessible holiday. The most majority of Jews sit around a table and tell the story year after year than do anything else. And so at the same time, then, it seems to me that it would be the hardest holiday the older we get, as we think about the chairs maybe not becoming empty. We fill them with friends and other family, but we are aware of those memories we've created with family members who are no longer with us. And so it's also an annual reminder, which is why the Yizkor on Wednesday is part of the holiday of Passover, because it's something so real and thinking about. So as we can move towards the end of our services, and we always each Shabbat think about loved ones that we're missing, as Rabbi Viva pointed out, coming now off of 2 nights of Seder or what have you, and the memories and the traditions that we've created or been part of, but we're also mindful of those who aren't necessarily at the table with us anymore, but are with us at the table through our stories and through the memories,
Maybe even our recipes.
and specifically, all the more so,
Right?
through our recipes. Amen.
Amen.
So we're going to rise to conclude our service with Mourner's Kaddish, and I'm going to invite those who wish to say,
We need to count the Omer.
oh, I apologize. We'll,
So it's so easy.
is it right here? This is where we do it.
This would do it because then we'll bring it in. Because everyone's going to stand, right?
Yes.
So we're going to make today count, and then we're going to bring in, if that's okay.
Yes,
It's on
of course.
278.
I made it forgot.
We're going to stand and rise. And if you've not done this accounting yet,
What
I want to
page?
tell you that 278,
Okay. Oh,
we're
yeah,
going
cool.
to count and then bring in the Mourner's Kaddish. I think this is so powerful that we are saying we're counting.
Beautiful.
We are here, and we are never going to forget you. And we're going to bring in their spirit. So let's rise.
Love it.
278. If this is something interesting to you, I want to let you know that the Kabbalists like to match each week with a different attribute of God. So we're in the Chesed week. This is the loving kindness week. And tonight is about loving kindness with strength. How are we strongly in our compassion? So something for us to meditate on as we make the counting. I'll make our bracha, you say amen, and we'll call out the night, okay? So 278. Unless you're counting, you make the bracha with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer hayom shnei yom shahem shavua achat yamim laomer.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who charges us to be holy through the counting of the Omer. And we say, today is day 2, which is the first week of counting the Omer. That's it, done. Day 2. That's it, we did it. And now with their memories.
If you are thinking of someone that you may have lost in recent days or those you've lost at this season and years past, observing the yard sites and wish to share their name out loud, I invite you to do so. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah
Amen.
be'alma divrach yotev lamich machutei b'chayechon uv'yamechon uv'chaye decho beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mivarach le'olam almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei kudesha brichu Le'ela minko birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Zichronam levracha, may all of their names, may all of their memories continue to be for a blessing, as indeed we say, Amen. We flip all the way back to the front, and we bless. I guess this makes it our 5th cup.
At least.
In the last 24 hours, this is now going to be my 5th cup. And as we make the Kiddush, Rabbi, will you lead us in the Kiddush?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm sorry.
Page
What
5.
Page 5.
5.
Awesome.
If you've gone to 6, you've gone too far.
Do you do the full thing?
I got
Baruch
it.
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava v'ratzon inkilanu zicharon l'maaseh b'reishit ki hu yom techila v'mikroe kodesh Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta, v'yotanu ki dashta, מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת.
L'chaim.
Chaim. Is it a good year? Good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just working through our backlog from COVID. We got a lot to. All right. Anyway, anybody read that in Hebrew? Pesach. Yay. Yay.
The bread of our affliction.
Yay.
Redemption.
Oh, yay. It didn't have time to rise.
It's a shame.
Yeah. Is
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
I feel like I have to because we made the blessing.
Oh, say shalom bimromav. Oh, yeah, say shalom aleinu. Amo Yisrael. Amo Yoshvei Tevel. Ve'imru. Shabbat shalom. Thank you all for the warmth and the love.
Enjoy the Passover oneg. Thank you, Rabbi Viva.
Well done, well done, well done, well done, well done. Really nice, really nice. Oh, so glad.